Yeah. Gotta get there fast, Sean. Yeah. Gotta get there fast, Sean.
Welcome Britball Nation to the Division 1 Power Rankings following Week 4's awesome slate of Uniball fixtures. We worked really hard to contact and coordinate with as many programs as possible this week to try to bring you the highlights and the lowdown on what went wrong and what went right, so our thanks go out to all the programs who stepped up to the mark to get this footage sorted in line with our deadlines. Remember to nudge your coaches and committees to keep up this engagement. You're not only benefiting yourselves but the sport as a whole. That said, let's jump into the Division 1 Power Rankings. No one drops out of the top 10 this week, though a certain program came pretty close after a shock defeat on Sunday. To that end, we've got to give the Mustangs an honourable mention. Now there's no room in the rankings for a team with a losing record, but that doesn't mean we can't give props where they're due for a cracking performance and a class act from the Mustangs, not only taking away a surprise victory but stepping up and embracing the Sharks' #JoyForJoel theme for the fixture.
10.
Like the morning after the night before, the Sharks are suddenly not looking so sexy. Speaking with the programme, it seems that perhaps they went into the game a bit complacent following their two convincing victories over Newcastle and Sunderland, and even though they were winless coming into the game, the Mustangs had shown they were not a team to sleep on, having put up good numbers against both the Raiders and the Tigers. The Sharks' offence, so dangerous in their opening two fixtures, simply didn't seem to be able to get going until the second half, and by then it was too late. Chasing a 2-score deficit forced them into making mistakes that would ultimately cost the Sharks the game. They take a big tumble down the rankings from their number 2 spot, but we're not convinced their season is done just yet. Perhaps the fame of being just oh so sexy went to their heads and this shock loss might refocus them. Or maybe the great work they were doing off the field to bring some joy to little Joel meant they were all tuckered out when it came to putting up points. But certainly their week 6 fixture against Glasgow is a chance to bounce back up the rankings and retake control of their conference, else likely slide out of the rankings entirely.
9.
Exeter continue to hover around the lower end of the rankings thanks to running the Cobras close early in the year. We'll learn a lot more about the Demons over the next 2 weeks as they take on the Redhawks and the Bullets in back-to-back fixtures, and wins here will mean they're right back in the running to potentially steal the conference away from the Cobras come the return leg right out of the Christmas break.
8.
Glasgow climb marginally up to 8 and currently sit undefeated atop the 1A North, though they'll want to start taking wins by bigger margins if they're going to secure their spot at the top of the conference. They'll look to assert themselves this weekend against a Newcastle side that itself will be looking for redemption after an embarrassing burger-sized loss to Hull in week 2. Both squads should be healthy and well rested after 2 byes, and in what could prove to be an integral matchup to decide in the conference, the winner should see themselves climb the rankings ladder.
7.
It was a quiet weekend for UClan, though they welcomed the Sabres this weekend. The Sabres took a bloody nose away from their Steel Bowl preview as the Warriors' aerial attack found its groove to the tune of 49 points. This in itself says how well the Rams did to hold Hallam to only a single score in week 4, and an iffy one at that, so a win here for the Rams should see them climb right up near their 1A Northwestern rivals in the rankings.
6.
Cambridge keep finding ways to win and their staunch D completely closed down the Pirates' offence. At 3-0 they'll likely go into the break undefeated, but with a gruelling 5-game straight stretch to face once they come out the other side of the Christmas break. Even so, you never know what presents Santa might bring the Pythons from across the pond.
5.
Warwick hold at 5, and this weekend we see whether the Wolves can hold their own against pre-season Division 1 favourites, the number 1 ranked Nottingham. Neither side have really faced an opponent that can challenge them yet, and even a good showing should see the Wolves hold on to a ranking spot. A win, and things get all kinda messy.
4.
The Destroyers continue to prove they were more than ready for Division 1 football and at 3-0 look comfortable atop the 1A South. Facing the Saxons this weekend, they'll look to go into the break perfect and having taken a win away from each of the conference rivals. The Saxons are dangerous and push the Stingers hard in week 1, so Portsmouth will need to ensure they don't take their foot off the pedal.
3.
The Cobras rise marginally as the Sharks splash down the ranks. We were expecting something a bit more prolific than a 20-0 win over long-time rivals of Bullets. Did the Cobras go easier or are the Bullets putting themselves back together after a rough start to the season? We'll learn a bit more in week 6 when we see the first return leg fixture in the southwest as the Cobras travel to the Redhawks, which should be a great game.
2.
No surprise, Hallam rise off the back of a near 50 burger performance against their cross-city rivals. We thought they were playing the mercy clock masterfully when they went 36-0 up, only for Sabres to put themselves on the scoreboard with back-to-back touchdowns. However, it wasn't to be and the Warriors finished a point short of the burger. That said, Dutch Stevenson and his receiving calls were on fire and there is no controversy this time around as Stevenson hooked up again and again with his favourite target, Ronald Daly-Thomas. As such, we'll forgive them missing out on the burger on this occasion as we're fairly certain this may not be the only time Hallam put up big points this year.
1.
And no surprises, Notts continue to sit pretty at the top. It only took them half a fixture to go 34 up over Worcester before the game was called for player safety due to a Royal going down. The player has since been given the all clear, though it'll be a while before he's suiting up again, leaving an already depleted Worcester side thin on the ground. For Notts, however, half a game keeps their roster fairly fresh as they prepare for what is expected to be their first real test of the season as they take on the Warwick Wolves away in Warwick this Sunday. Notts will be strong favourites, but truth be told they've probably not really had to face much adversity so far this year, so it'll be good to see whether their scholar dollars pay off when it counts. A big win here and they'd look a lock-in for the conference crown with half a season still to play. There we go, nation. What do you think of our rankings following week 4? We're starting to get a more clear picture of who the contenders are, but do you think we missed a team out that's earned the right to be featured? Remember to like this video if you liked it and want to see more of the same, and give it a share on your social media platform of choice to ensure you get your big plays out there to as large an audience as possible. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that way you won't miss out, and though we know it's a tight time of year for money, if you think you could go a pint short this weekend or manage a morning without your mocha frappa latticino, then please, go check out joyforjoel.co.uk or text LTKJOEL to 70030 to donate £3 to bring some extra joy to this young baller's day. In the meantime, play hard, play safe, and go check out our scoop of the weekend's results. We've rammed this one chocker full of highlights and game day insights with a whole weekend of Britball in under 10 minutes. More or less.